This week, I have another snippet from my recent conference presentation. If you missed last week's, there's a little taste of a presentation I did there. And here's going to be some video from the Talent Management Alliance in which I go off a little about how people data sometimes scares me and how worried I am that people might be creepy when it comes to using people data. So hope you enjoyed this snippet and stay tuned because there's still one more next week.
Data privacy and accessibility. So I love tech. I love data. I think people analytics is the coolest thing ever. It scares the crap out of me. Like, scares the crap out of me. So when I do think about people data, just because you can measure it does not always mean you should. So I do get a little worried that with the more accessibility, with the fact that we have data on everything, I mean, that example I gave of having the conversation with the employee, is it really appropriate if you knew what medical adjustments they just made in the last year? I'm not sure that that should be or is appropriate for the conversation. So how do you keep the right things in and you protect the things that need to be protected? So I think there's a lot in the talent management space. These are my principles. In my team, actually, they're really fun about it. Don't be creepy is like my tagline. If I had a sitcom, that would be like my line, like, don't be creepy. But basically, do no harm. Data worries me a bit because algorithms tend to be biased. There's a lot of, when you run data off of a certain type of person, who's always kind of had the opportunity to, say, have the leadership job. You start building algorithms that match the person who's always gotten it, which means the future people look like the past people. That's not what we're going for. So there is, unfortunately, I have to go into a little bit of a dark side of the topic, but that's where I do Ray of Hope is I'm really excited about some of the new laws. The European Union just put in the GDPR. And that was really actually in response to the fact that people were afraid that algorithms might do harm, and they put them in place. Most people just know it as the reason why they get all those annoying emails explaining like how that one random newsletter you signed up for once is using your data. That's GDPR making them send you that email, FYI. But it is a good thing. So, and that's because, people data should be private data. I think you can do a lot with it. I think it's powerful, but it's not the same as other data. It has to do with a person's life. And then not only that, it's a very shallow view of a person's life. People are multifaceted. There is no amount of fields in an HR information system that can ever explain a person to you. We still don't always know what's going to move them to the next place. So I think it's just a caveat that I'd put out there when you think about technology, data, how things are changing. And a little bit of caution that it's people in this room, and this is when I get soapbox, that need to kind of help protect it and really want to make sure that as we usher in a new age of how we think about developing organizations and teams, that it's following the right kind of privacy alignments.
I hope you liked that little piece from the conference presentation. Thanks again, Talent Management Alliance. And if you liked this or last week's, hit the subscribe button because I have one more little video coming out of it for you. So you'll be able to catch that next week. And remember, when using people data, think about what it'll be used for and try really hard to not be creepy. I hope to see you next week.